Hi there, everyone. Badraven here today. I'm doing a video of this movie that I've really liked since the 80s, and you know me, I like to do a lot of reviews about the 80s movies because it was a time in my life, I went through so much as a teenager, and these movies tell the story of kind of my growing up, my coming of age or whatever you want to call it. And so I give you more than just a review of the movie, but what I was going through at the time. And that's why I like putting this on video, because it helps me remember this stuff, and it needs to be remembered somewhere, whether you enjoy the memory or not. But I like to be able to look at it later on down the line and help me with my knowledge of all the stuff not all the stuff, but how the movie was appreciated at the time because of the stuff that I was going through. The movie I'm talking about, of course, is let me get a better one here. Is Legend. There you go. It says Legend. I hope there's no thing on it. Front and the back and the spine. But this is a great movie for several different reasons. I do love the genre, which with the Excalibur, the sword and the sorcerer, and Dragon Slayer. Yeah, I'm gonna do that review pretty soon. And the reason I really like this movie so much, you gotta think, it's 1985 when this came out, and Tom Cruise was big at the time. He's in this movie, Legend, and he was a very big starting up actor at the time, and so a lot of his movies everybody wanted to go see, but then having the sword and evil and the damsel in distress, like I've told you in the past, and it was definitely up my alley. But for another reason it was up my alley, was because I was a senior in high school at the time, and everything comes back to about a girl. And there was a girl in my model office class, and when I first started, and model office was a class where you learn typing and how business runs. Well, not learn typing, but how you start doing stuff like about business, how business would run. It's kind of like a office would be. It was a model of an office, that's why it's called model office. Well, we were in this class. I was in there, and the only reason I took this class, and this is honest why I took the class, was there was maybe two guys, me and another guy, and all other girls. And I wanted to meet girls, of course, And first, when my mother told me that I needed to learn typing a few years before that, I was like, I don't want to go do any typing class. You think I'm crazy? People make fun of me. And she said, well, you need that in case in the future you want to go to college and you want to type a paper, you'll know how to type it. You won't be like all these kids going all over the place. And I understood that part, but when she said, or my sister said, a lot of girls take typing. So I was like, well, I want to take typing. I really wanted to take typing my whole life. And in fact, I want to just, talk to girls. But, because I was a shy kid back in the day, I'm still relatively shy today, but I was really bad back then. But I had took typing, so a few years later, model office opened up, and I knew there was a lot of girls in that class too, so I took it. And this has all got to do with this movie, so don't think I'm getting away from this review. I'm just setting the stage, And so I was in this class, and there was a lot of girls, and really the girl that we're going to refer to in this was a girl named Gina. And when I first started talking to her, we were just friends, just just talk to each other and stuff like that. And as we took the the classes for the whole whole year, and I got to talking to her more and everything, and I kind of started liking her, and I was surprised because at the time, she was an athletic type girl. She was a basketball player and stuff like that. She wasn't exactly the person I envisioned, falling for. Now, she was not ugly or nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. She was a very pretty girl. And she was just, a basketball player, and I guess I just wasn't expecting to go that route. But anyway, I ended up liking her, to make a long story short. So I was going to take her out on a date, and of course, I'm a movie man. I love movies, and I wanted to take her to a movie. And this movie was out, and it had a good soundtrack, modern music on it, and so I drove to her house and picked her up and took her to see this movie. And that's why this movie is maybe half of the reason why I like it, because of her. And remembering the caring I had for her, and the first love type thing, whether it was love or not is debatable, but I just had a crush on her. And for a young boy, you think that's love, but I still had a very fond affection for her. So that's why I really this movie holds a lot for me, because people will watch this and say this movie isn't that good, and it has got its slow moments in it, but to me it's a masterpiece. Not just because of her, but both situations come together. Like I told you in my other reviews, how certain circumstances I went through affect me more because of the movies I watched at the time. So they all hold a place in here in me. That's what makes me me. It makes the Badraven love this type of media. Going to the movies, everything. But, I really felt for her, and then that made me, in turn, when I watch this movie, it gives me that kind of same feeling I had when I was, crazy about her, So I like to watch it. I like to watch it, go back in the old days and to remember. And so that is the reason one of the big reasons I like this movie. But getting to the movie, get all the mushy stuff out of the way. I know we don't watch these reviews to see all this mushy stuff. I understand. But Tom Cruise is in this, and Sara is in this, and Tim Curry. Nobody knows Tom Cruise, So it was like foregone conclusion that I really would want to go see it just for him because he's in it. And Sara is she plays Princess Lili, and Tom Cruise plays Jack. He's like the forest guy, runs around the forest, kind of like not on a loincloth, but just I don't know, a free spirit out in the woods. And Tim Curry plays the Prince of Darkness, the devil, whatever you want to call him. He is darkness. And this was like, for its time, it was developed. It was directed by Ridley Scott of Alien fame, and he wanted to make a movie like a fairy tale for grown-ups, they call it, and he wanted to have his version of a fairy tale. So he went all out. They built sound stages and everything for this, and they had like a humongous forest, like pretty much right in a sound stage they built, and with water, birds, bugs, everything you could think of, they put it in there to make it authentic. And you can tell by this that they spent a lot of time, even the stuff floating in the air, and even had unicorns on it. So I'm not a unicorn lover, don't get me wrong, but in the story it made sense for the characters. And I'll just tell you a vague outline of what the story was about. Jack loves Lily. Lily is a princess, and she comes and she likes to come from the castle, and she goes down to meet the common folk and everything, and she loves Jack, so she goes down there and he, sings to her and plays music. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but bear with me. You got a girl on a date with a girl, it's good stuff. But anyway, she goes into the forest, and she spends time with Jack and all this, and he wants to go show her the unicorns, because the unicorn is like the most innocent thing out there, like almost like an angel, I guess you could say. And Lily is like, Princess Lili is like innocent herself. She doesn't have an evil thought in her head. And in the background, the Prince of Darkness is wanting to kill the unicorns so he can, because the unicorns are supposed to be making the world, bright and good and everything like that. So he wants to kill them to shut out the light and be able to have the whole world plunged in darkness. So, and Tim Curry does a great job as the devil, pretty much. He's got the big horns, he's red, he's got hoofs like a horse, and the special effects on this back in the 80s, 85 to be exact, was unbelievable. I mean, they made him look like the devil. What you think what the devil would look like, I don't know if you can see him on that picture there, is what he is. That's what he represents. Maybe I'll stick a picture of Tim Curry in makeup for this movie Legend right here. See what I'm talking about? Awesome looking. But anyway, he does an excellent evil darkness character. But anyway, Jack takes Lily to see the unicorn, which is forbidden. They're not anybody supposed to go there, and especially not even touch them. Because even as innocent as Lily is, she can't be as pure as the unicorn. So Prince of Darkness sends out his henchmen, these little elves-like characters, to chase her, because they know innocence would bring in the unicorns. So they wanted them to follow her, so that she would lead them to the unicorns. And of course, it happens. She touches them. They shoot it with a dart and make it fall asleep, and they cut its horn off. One of the unicorn's horn off, and it plunges everything into a cold, dark world. So then they kidnap the Princess Lili, take her back to the beast, which tries to woo her, So Jack has to stop darkness, rescue Princess Lili, and save the world from darkness and evil. So that's what the premise of the movie's about. I don't know, it sounds crazy, but it's supposed to be like things of legend. So that's why the name is Legend. And it is, like I said, it's visually stunning. I'd like to see an ultra high def version of this movie someday. I've seen the Blu-ray, and there is a theatrical, what I watched back in the 80s, and there's a extended edition they had, director's cut they showed it over in England or something overseas, and or the UK, and it's longer, and they got different music in it and cut a little differently. And I like both versions. They're slightly different on each one. I like kind of the music of the 80s because at the time that I went and watched it, like I told you, with the girl and the date. So the other one doesn't hold the same feelings as the theatrical version. But it is visually stunning. I love what they put into it. Nowadays, I don't think they could probably, it would have been a fortune just for the sets alone. Which the set ended up catching fire. They had so much gases built up in there or something when they were doing pyrotechnics and stuff, and it caused it to burn down toward the end of the shooting thing. So they had to kind of film it a little different after that. But you don't really notice it in the movie. But I loved it, and I'll always have a copy of this in some form or fashion of this movie because of, like I said, the date, the girl, the year, the time. You just never forget those things when you're growing up. And I like that about my movies that I watch. They've got a place in here, like I said, in my heart, and it brings me back to that being that young naive boy that I was, and instead of being a naive man, I am now. And it just can, if I want to forget the day, I can just throw the movie in and remember it. So definitely watch this, but watch it and give it a chance. If you've seen it in the past, rewatch it and think about, through my eyes, I know you can't see exactly through my eyes, what it was like for a young boy, maybe on his first real date, and see why I enjoy it so much and why I would put it in my collection. So tell me what you think of The Legend. Tell me if you've seen it in the day or if you've seen it recently, and leave a comment. Tell me if you liked the video, my story about this movie, and like and subscribe if you want to. Tell your friends. I just want you to know that I appreciate it. And remember, the Badraven is your friend, and we're hoping that you enjoy these videos. So for now, we'll let you go, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.